If you can do this, you can do pretty much anything. Hi, I'm Sarah. I've been a STEM teacher for 20 years, and I like to make math engaging and fun and not so scary for everyone, all ages. I do private tutoring and mini lessons and things like that. If you need more information or you want to reach out about tutoring and setting it up in person or Zoom, click the link and do the stuff. So let's do the blue dice are the big number. So this is something that I like to do with my students, and especially when I'm tutoring, is just use if you don't want to make up some big number or you don't want to make up a fraction, just use the dice. Just use cards, whatever. Like make it random, right? If you want it to be random, make it truly random, right? Roll the dice. So we've got 2, 3, 3, 2, 6, 3. Wow, interesting. That's a neat number. Divided by 3, 6, 1. You guys saw how random that is, but look, it's all like 2, 3, 6. That's crazy. I love it when stuff like that works out. That's so interesting to me. If I don't have a calculator, I'm going to have to use some estimation. I'm going to do the same method, right? So I'm just going to look at 2. I know that 361 is not going to go in until 233, right? Or like 3 digits and 3 digits, but I know it's not going to go into 233, right? Because 361 is bigger than 233, so it's not going to divide into it. So now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at 2332 divided by 361. That is not great, right? Those are not great numbers to work with, but we can estimate, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm going, I've got 361 and I've got 2332. So this is a little less than 400. This is a little less than 2400. Right? Now 400 times 6 would give me 2400. That seems like an okay place to start. I'm going to try 6. So I'm going to still put the 6 over here. Now, the beauty of math is that while you're trying these things, we're going to do the same thing that we did when we were dividing by 4, and I'm going to do 6 times 361, and we'll get to that in a second. If that number's too big, I just change this to a 5. Let's see how it works out. So 361. So I'm going to do, I can't do that in my head. So I'm going to do 361 times 6. So I have 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 21. Oh, 2166. So that seems to be pretty good. So 2166, and I'm going to subtract it. Now, again, just estimating, right? This is going to be like a difference of less than 200. So I think we're good with the 6. Okay. So now I'm going to subtract. Subtraction never changes, right? 2 minus 6, can't do that. So I'm going to take a 1 and borrow from the 3. 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 minus 6, nope, I'm going to do this. I'm going to borrow from there. 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. So now I'm left with 166, just like we did with the 4. We're going to bring this 6. Oh my God, there's so many 6s. Okay. All right, so now 1666. So again, I'm looking at this. So I'm looking at the 1666 and the 361. Okay, now I knew that 6 got me to be about there. So 2200 to 1600 is about minus 600. So I'm going to try times 4. Okay, so I know it needs to be less. So I'm just going to, again, I can always erase, right? So I'm going to put a 4 over that 6. Now, I'm going to do 361 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Okay, so 1444. I think we're still good. So 1444. These are wild numbers. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. Done. 222. That was my address growing up. 222. Our house number. Okay. So now I've got 22, 23, and 361. Oh, now look back up here. 2166 is kind of perfect, right? So let's just go with a 6 again, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. So I already multiplied it through. So I'm going to trust my multiplication, right? So now I've got 3 minus 6, 13, borrow. So 13 minus 6 is 7. Borrow again. So I've got 11 minus 6, which is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So I'm left with, 361, 233,263 divided by 361 is 646 with a remainder of 57. Again, if I need to get any further, like if you're on a part of the SAT that doesn't let you use calculators, right? And you need to go into like the tenths or something like that, right? If we've got the remainder, right, that means we have a portion of that number. Okay, so this is kind of, it depends on the level of your students, but it means that I have part left over. So if you look at the fraction, you can think about it that way. So that's why we add in that 0. Okay, is that then we're going to bring in, because it's a portion of the rest, right? So then this would be 0.1, and I would keep going, minus 361. Right? And I would keep going on and on and on, however many place values I needed to figure out my answer to. But that's it. So again, long division doesn't change, right? Nothing changes. The pattern doesn't change. Not saying it's easy. It's still really difficult, right? It's still really challenging, but it's not impossible, right? It doesn't change anything.